The echo of the gavel thundered through the silent courtroom, sealing a verdict that no one expected. Emma Gray said, "This cannot be justice. It's a sentence of lies." The judge's eyes stayed cold, his hand firm as if nothing had just unraveled. The guarded survivor sat frozen, breath shallow, body heavy with disbelief. Daniel Cole, the steady anchor, whispered, "Stay calm. Don't let them see us break." A shadowed figure in the gallery, Margaret Hale, the velvet blade, adjusted her gloves with a slow, deliberate gesture, her gaze sharp as glass. From the back, Olivia Reed, the warm comforter, watched with trembling eyes, hands clenched in false sympathy. Outside, thunder rolled across the city, rain streaking the tall windows as if mourning the corrupted moment. A faint memory, a scent of lavender, drifted into the mind of the guarded survivor, reminding them of Sarah Gray, the lingering memory, forever frozen in time. Every heartbeat felt louder, every glance felt dangerous, and the walls themselves seemed to tighten. In that instant, the survivor realized truth was no longer safe here. Justice was stolen. The heavy doors creaked open as Emma Gray stepped into the rain-swept night, her heart a storm that matched the skies. Daniel Cole said, "We need to move fast before they close every path." Olivia Reed approached softly, her voice calm, "You're not alone in this, we'll find a way." Emma's eyes met hers, sensing both comfort and something hidden beneath that warmth. Margaret Hale exited slowly, her heels sharp against stone, pausing to watch with a knowing smile. Emma whispered, "Sarah, if only you could guide me now," the memory tightening around her chest. The night swallowed their words as thunder cracked again. Inside a dim alley, Daniel Cole whispered, "They'll erase every trace if we don't act now." Emma said, "Truth is slipping away, but I will not let Sarah's memory be silenced." Olivia Reed stepped closer, brushing rain from Emma's shoulder, murmuring, "You still have us, and that's enough for tonight." Margaret Hale's car glided past the alley mouth, headlights slicing shadows, a reminder of watching eyes. The city pulsed with menace, each flicker of neon carrying secrets. Emma pressed against the cold bricks, whispering, "This city hides too many ghosts." Daniel Cole nodded, his eyes sharp, "Ghosts we must face if justice is ever to breathe again." Olivia Reed's voice carried softly, "Sometimes justice isn't found, it's made." A flicker of Sarah's memory passed through Emma's mind, her laughter echoing faint and cruel against the storm. Margaret Hale's influence stretched into every shadow, her presence unseen yet felt with every drop of rain. The storm eased, leaving the city glistening like broken glass. Emma said, "Every raindrop feels like a warning." Daniel Cole looked ahead, resolute, "Then we use those warnings to fight." Olivia Reed placed a hand on Emma's arm, her voice low, "You're stronger than you believe." From afar, Margaret Hale's silhouette stood beneath a lamp, calm and unyielding, as though the storm had obeyed her. Sarah's memory lingered, her faint smile twisted by the truth Emma refused to forget. The room smelled faintly of burnt coffee and old paper as Emma Gray sat at her small desk, staring at the sealed letter she never dared open. She whispered, "It waits, just like the truth does." Daniel Cole leaned against the doorway, his arms folded. "We have to keep moving, Emma. Every second matters." She nodded, yet her hand lingered near the letter as though it were an anchor to a past she could not let go. Olivia Reed entered softly, her voice wrapping the room like a blanket. "Sometimes we hold on because we fear what happens when we finally let go." Emma studied her, the words landing like both comfort and warning. Rain ticked against the window, and the storm seemed quieter than before, but her heart remained unsettled. Emma stood by the window, the rain reflecting her fractured resolve. She said, "Every time I think of Sarah, it feels like she's here urging me forward." Daniel Cole replied firmly, "Her memory deserves truth, and you're the only one who can carry it." Olivia Reed placed her hand lightly on Emma's shoulder, murmuring, "But truth demands sacrifice, and sacrifice has its own scars." Emma turned, searching Olivia's face, finding warmth yet sensing shadows beneath her steady gaze. The lightning outside flashed, illuminating Margaret Hale in Emma's mind, as if her presence controlled even the storm. The kitchen was silent, except for the faint hum of the refrigerator. Daniel Cole broke it, saying, "They've already erased files, buried witnesses, and silenced names." Emma clenched her fist, her voice trembling. "Then they'll not silence me." Olivia Reed poured coffee with a steady hand, offering the cup like peace. Even fire needs warmth to keep from burning itself out. Emma hesitated before taking it, feeling both gratitude and suspicion stir in her chest. The memory of Sarah hummed in her ears like a song she could never escape. Emma traced the lines of a photo, Sarah's face forever frozen in youth. She whispered, "She deserved better than this shadow of truth." Daniel Cole leaned forward, his voice low. "You carry her memory as a weapon now." Olivia Reed placed her palm over Emma's hand gently. "Memory can be healing, but it can also be a chain." Emma looked up, realizing the chain was both comfort and burden. Outside, Margaret Hale's car idled at the corner, headlights casting sharp angles through the blinds, as if watching from beyond the rain. The storm faded into drizzle, leaving a heavy silence that pressed against the walls. Emma whispered, "If I fail, then Sarah is gone forever." Daniel Cole stood tall, his tone steady. "Then we don't fail, no matter the cost." Olivia Reed smiled softly. "Sometimes the fight itself is the proof of love." Emma exhaled, the words lingering, as she glanced at the sealed letter again. Margaret Hale's shadow moved past the window like a dark omen, reminding Emma that truth would not be simple, and every bond came with a price. The narrow hallway of the courthouse basement smelled of damp stone and secrets. Daniel Cole said, "They've hidden evidence here before, we need to dig deeper." Emma whispered, "Truth doesn't vanish, it waits in the dark." Olivia Reed trailed her fingers across the wall, murmuring, "Some truths are buried for good reason." Margaret Hale's influence lingered like smoke, every step echoing with silent warnings. The sound of dripping water felt like a clock, counting down their time. Emma knelt by a locked cabinet, fingers trembling as she whispered, "This is where it starts." Daniel Cole leaned down, tools in hand, muttering, "They didn't expect us to find it this soon." Olivia Reed said quietly, "Doors open for reasons, but sometimes they're meant to stay closed." A faint outline of Sarah flickered in Emma's mind, urging her forward. The weight of Margaret Hale's silent reach pressed down on them, even in the shadows. The cabinet door creaked open, revealing files damp from time and secrecy. Emma whispered, "They tried to bury it, but it's still breathing." Daniel Cole flipped through papers, his eyes sharp. "This could shatter everything they built." Olivia Reed leaned close, her voice low, "And it could break you too." Emma's pulse quickened as she recognized names she had whispered in prayers and curses alike. Somewhere above, a door slammed, reminding them that danger was closer than truth. Emma slammed the folder shut, her breath ragged. She said, "These names, these lies, they're bleeding into every corner." Daniel Cole pressed his palm against the wall, growling, "They'll come for us now." Olivia Reed placed her hand on Emma's shoulder, whispering, "Strength and survival don't always live together." The faint laughter of Sarah floated through Emma's thoughts, a memory turned warning. Margaret Hale's presence was heavy, as if she was the architect behind every shadow they found. Footsteps echoed above, louder with every second. Emma whispered, "They're here." Daniel Cole's jaw hardened. "We fight or we run." Olivia Reed's eyes darkened, her voice steady. "Not every enemy comes from outside." Emma clutched the folder tighter, Sarah's faint image flickering in her mind. Margaret Hale's control spread like ink, unseen yet choking every breath. The truth in her hands felt heavier than the storm itself, and escape no longer seemed certain. The abandoned archive reeked of mildew and forgotten truths as Emma Gray whispered, "Sarah's name is here, hidden in their shadows." Daniel Cole rifled through yellowed files, his jaw tight. "This isn't just corruption, it's a map of every life they've broken." Olivia Reed's hand lingered over one file, her voice soft but cutting. "Every truth carries a price, Emma, and you're already bleeding." Emma's chest tightened, the weight of Sarah's memory pressing against her like chains of light and grief. Margaret Hale entered silently, her heels echoing like a funeral drumbeat, her voice measured. You never truly understood who pulled the strings. Emma's eyes locked onto her, fury sparking. Then show me the truth, Margaret, because lies can't bury me forever. Lightning flashed through broken windows, illuminating the files like ghosts reaching for freedom. Margaret Hale stepped further in, her voice steady. Your sister was never a victim, Emma. She was part of this. Emma froze, blood draining from her face, whispering, You're lying. Daniel Cole grabbed Emma's shoulder. Don't listen. She twists everything. Olivia Reed's expression shifted, her calm eyes now dark pools, murmuring, Sometimes betrayal doesn't come from outside. The weight of Sarah's memory grew sharper, her smile flickering in Emma's mind like broken glass. Margaret leaned close. Sarah chose her silence, and it built my empire. Emma's scream cracked the silence. No, she was stolen, not complicit. Thunder roared, swallowing the sound of truth and lies colliding. Emma's breath came ragged as she clutched Sarah's name scrawled in the files. She whispered. Her silence was forced, not chosen. Daniel Cole shouted, We need to get out before they trap us here. Olivia Reed's lips curved faintly, her voice chilling in its calmness. Sometimes, Emma, truth isn't your salvation. It's the rope they'll hang you with. Margaret Hale circled them like a predator, her heels clicking softly. Sarah's fate was sealed long before you learned to fight. Emma's fists tightened, fire blazing through her chest. Then I'll unseal it with blood and fire. The shadows felt alive, Sarah's laughter echoing faintly as if warning them that the truth was not yet theirs to claim. Emma rose, her voice sharp as steel. You think I'll crumble because of your twisted story, Margaret, but I've carried worse. Daniel Cole stood close, his voice steady. Emma, we need to leave now. Olivia Reed's gaze cut through her, whispering, You'll carry ashes if you keep chasing fire. Margaret Hale's smile was razor thin as she adjusted her gloves. You don't even realize who opened the door for me. Emma narrowed her eyes, realization piercing through her chest like a blade. It was someone I trusted. Olivia Reed's silence deepened the storm, her face unreadable. Lightning cracked above, casting shadows that looked like bars of a cage around them. The storm raged louder as Emma whispered, Sarah's silence was not her choice. It was yours, Margaret. Margaret Hale's eyes narrowed, her voice low. You know so little, Emma. Even Daniel carries his share of betrayal. Daniel Cole stiffened, his jaw tightening, but he stayed silent. Olivia Reed leaned closer, murmuring, Sometimes trust is a luxury none of us can afford. Emma's chest burned with fury and grief. You all want me broken, but I'll bleed before I break. Sarah's ghostly image flickered in the air, her soft hum lingering like a hymn of defiance. Thunder roared, and for the first time, Emma felt that the truth was not just hidden, it was being rewritten around her. The courtroom was packed, the storm outside muted by the weight of expectation within. Emma Gray stood at the center, folder in hand, her voice trembling but fierce. This is the evidence they buried, and it screams Sarah's name. Daniel Cole sat rigid at her side, his eyes darting as though carrying a secret of their own. Olivia Reed shifted gently, her soft voice floating across the silence. Justice is fragile, Emma. Be careful not to shatter yourself along with it. Margaret Hale leaned back, her hands folded, a smirk tugging her lips. All the truth in the world means nothing without power. Emma's heart thundered, the walls pressing in as her sister's memory seemed to whisper, Don't stop now. The gavel struck, demanding silence, and Emma's truth hung like lightning in the tense air. Emma's voice sharpened. Sarah's silence was not her choice. It was stolen by those who feared the truth. Margaret Hale leaned forward, her eyes gleaming. Your sister understood the cost better than you ever will. Daniel Cole's knuckles whitened as he gripped the bench, whispering, Emma, don't push too far. Olivia Reed touched Emma's arm softly, her words laced with sweetness and warning. Sometimes silence is the only way to survive. Emma pulled away, eyes blazing. Then I'll break silence even if it kills me. Thunder echoed outside, the storm mirroring the fury inside. The judge demanded order, but Emma's voice cut through. These documents show your hand in silencing witnesses. Margaret, and Sarah was one of them. Margaret Hale rose slowly. Calm as stone, you accuse me because you can't face what she chose. Olivia Reed whispered close, her warmth turned icy. Sometimes betrayal is closer than you think. Emma's head snapped toward Daniel Cole, her eyes narrowing. Tell me you didn't help bury her truth. Daniel's silence roared louder than thunder, his jaw locked in shame. The memory of Sarah shimmered faintly, her image watching as if demanding the answer Emma already feared. Emma's voice broke as she cried, Daniel, tell me you weren't part of this. His silence shattered the room more than words ever could. Olivia Reed lowered her gaze, her tone almost tender. Truth is rarely pure, Emma, and loyalty is never free. Margaret Hale smiled thinly, her voice like venom. He opened doors for me long before you saw the lock. Emma staggered back, whispering, all this time the anchor I leaned on was the weight pulling me under. Sarah's memory flickered in the light, her voice echoing faintly, trust carefully. The storm cracked above, rain hammering against glass, as if the world itself condemned the betrayal. Emma's voice rose with fury and pain, you betrayed Sarah, and you betrayed me. Daniel Cole's eyes filled with regret, but he said nothing, his silence sealing his guilt. Olivia Reed stepped closer, whispering, every bond carries a cost and you're paying it now. Margaret Hale's tone remained calm. This is the moment justice is seized or stolen. Emma lifted the folder high, her voice steady through tears, then let the world see what you've all tried to bury. The gavel struck like thunder, but the sound was drowned by Sarah's faint humming, the melody of truth refusing to be silenced. The gavel struck one last time, the sound echoing like a funeral bell through the silent courtroom. The judge's voice carried the verdict, guilty, but not of what you hoped. Emma Gray's breath caught as the words sank like stones, the truth reshaped into something unrecognizable. Daniel Cole closed his eyes, a single tear carving down his rigid face. Olivia Reed's voice soothed, almost tender. Justice is not about truth, it's about survival. Margaret Hale's faint smile returned, as if she had written the script of the outcome long before it was spoken. Emma whispered, they buried her again, even here. Sarah's memory flickered in her mind, a soft hum that carried both comfort and condemnation. The courtroom emptied, leaving Emma Gray staring at the hollow space where justice should have lived. She murmured, truth doesn't matter if power decides the story. Daniel Cole approached slowly, voice ragged. I thought I could shield you, but I only chained you. Olivia Reed placed a gentle hand on Emma's shoulder. Chains break when you learn, they were never yours to carry. Margaret Hale paused at the doorway, turning with cold grace. History will remember me, Emma, not your grief. Emma's fingers curled tightly into fists as Sarah's memory shimmered near the window, whispering silently, you still breathe, don't let them win. The night air outside was heavy with drizzle as Emma stepped down the courthouse stairs. She whispered, Sarah, I carried you here, but the system was too strong. Daniel Cole followed, voice low, I betrayed you once, but I'll walk this road until I make it right. Olivia Reed's warmth returned in her tone. Healing isn't found in courts, Emma, it's carved in hearts. Margaret Hale's car idled nearby, headlights slicing through the rain, as though her reach stretched far beyond the trial. Emma's chest ached as Sarah's memory floated faintly in the air, her smile tender yet sorrowful, reminding Emma that truth lived on even when justice failed. Emma sat in her dim apartment, the sealed letter once again before her. She whispered, every time I return to this, I wonder if opening it will free me or end me. Daniel Cole sat across the table, voice quiet. Sometimes the truth we hide is the only thing that keeps us moving. Olivia Reed leaned at the window, her words like silk. The letter won't change Sarah's fate, it will only change yours. Emma's hand trembled above the envelope, unable to tear it open. Margaret Hale's words echoed in her mind. Power rewrites truth. Sarah's memory shimmered faintly across the table, her ghostly fingers brushing the letter, as if urging Emma toward a decision she feared to make. The storm outside finally broke into silence, leaving the city still. Emma whispered, Justice was never theirs to give. It's mine to carry. Daniel Cole rose, his voice steady despite grief. Then carry it, Emma, and let me walk beside you this time. Olivia Reed turned slowly, her smile soft but unreadable. Even in loss, you've become something untouchable. Margaret Hale's shadow lingered in Emma's thoughts, reminding her that corruption was not gone, only waiting. Emma pressed her hand to the envelope, Sarah's memory glowing faintly in the room, her humming voice whispering, "Carry me forward, don't leave me buried." The silence was no victory, but it was defiance, and Emma claimed it as her own. The night was heavy with silence as Emma Gray sat alone at her desk, the sealed letter before her once more. She whispered, "Sarah, I don't know if opening this will free me or finish me." Daniel Cole entered slowly, his voice steady but scarred. "The truth doesn't end you, Emma. It remakes you." Olivia Reed leaned against the doorway, her soft tone carrying a shadow. "But sometimes what's remade is worse than what was lost." Emma's fingers trembled, brushing the paper like a fragile wound. Margaret Hale's voice echoed in her memory. "Power decides the truth, not paper or tears." Sarah's faint glow shimmered by the desk, her silent humming, a reminder that choices left behind still lived in the present. Emma whispered, "Every storm ends, but the damage lingers." Daniel Cole replied, "We can rebuild with the ruins if we dare." Olivia Reed stepped closer, her voice calm, "Or we can let the ruins bury us." Margaret Hale's shadow haunted Emma's mind, the echo of her cold laugh resounding in the silence. Emma's hand pressed down on the envelope, but she could not break it open. Sarah's image appeared faintly across the glass of the window, her eyes filled with both love and sorrow, as though waiting for Emma to make the choice she feared. The rain outside slowed to a steady whisper, the city holding its breath. Emma rose abruptly, whispering, "If truth destroys me, then I'll meet it standing." Daniel Cole stepped forward, his voice sharp, "Then I'll stand with you." Olivia Reed smiled faintly, her tone layered with warmth and warning. Not every truth deserves to be seen. Emma's chest ached, the weight of betrayal and loyalty twisting together. Margaret Hale's presence lingered in her mind, her elegant voice taunting, "You'll never escape the strings I tied." Sarah's memory glowed faintly at Emma's side, her soft hum carrying both courage and sorrow. Emma held the envelope tight, every breath a war between fear and defiance. Emma walked slowly to the window, her voice breaking. "Sarah, I carried you this far, but I don't know if I can carry what's inside." Daniel Cole's voice shook, "Then let me carry it with you." Olivia Reed whispered, "Once opened, it cannot be closed, and you will never be the same." Emma stared at the envelope in her trembling hands, feeling as though the city itself leaned in, waiting for her choice. Margaret Hale's echo whispered, "Your truth is only mine rewritten." Sarah's faint glow reflected in the window, her expression a blend of hope and grief. Emma's tears fell, each one heavier than the storm. The room fell into silence, broken only by Emma's whisper, "The truth doesn't die when buried. It waits." She set the envelope back on the desk, leaving it unopened, its power undiminished. Daniel Cole lowered his head whispering, "Then it will haunt us until the end." Olivia Reed stepped back into the shadows, murmuring, "Some ghosts never rest." Margaret Hale's cold echo lingered in Emma's mind, promising the fight was far from over. Sarah's memory glowed brighter for one fleeting moment, her soft humming carrying a haunting line that only Emma could hear. Emma closed her eyes, whispering, "Justice is not finished." The silence that followed was not peace, it was a warning.